Hello YouTube, I'm Food for Louie's mum. For ages now I've wanted to make this video just to set this record straight and make sure that you know that Louie has had a good upbringing. He's come from a responsible family, but I have got a few insights and perspectives on why this whole Food for Louie thing might have come about. Out of the three of my kids, Louie was the fussiest eater. He's got two sisters, one a year and a half younger and one 14 years younger than that. Usual family, all planned, all the same marriage. Some people say our family think outside the box. What box? Out of the three, he was the fussiest eater, and as a baby, he's stuck to those baby jars for quite some time. Then that went on into his childhood, and he would be quite fussy about different ingredients like onions and peppers, and they would be left around the edge of his plate. And he'd always want me to have a tin of ravioli in the cupboard in reserve in case he just couldn't face any of the meals. So my theory is, as food in general was a bit of a challenge, why not take that challenge stratospherically? One of the other things about Louie's eating habits is from an early age, he wasn't big on the chewing thing. And in talking to some of his mates when he was older, apparently chewing is overrated, according to Dave Erasmus. Hi Dave. So bear that in mind for a bit of a horror story that might come later. So chewing was overrated, and in general things would just go straight down, which was interesting when it came to ice cream when he was a toddler. After 3 or 4 mouthfuls, just one after the other, without savouring it at all, suddenly that cold would hit his stomach and we'd have to have a glass of warm water at the ready and just wait for the If we were out and about, McDonalds was the safe area, so there was the safe zones. When he was a toddler, it was the baby jars, and when he was at home or if we were on holiday camping or something, it's the tin of ravioli, and out and about it was McDonald's. Even when we were on an adventurous backpacking holiday in Malaysia and Sumatra, we're obviously eating the local food, but every now and then he'd go, I just want a McDonald's. There was one occasion as well where we'd been for a family night out to see a film in Leicester Square, and we were deciding where we were going to eat afterwards, and he absolutely stuck to his guns. It has to be McDonald's or nothing, and threw a little bit of a tantrum. But his dad put his foot down and we all got bundled into the car and taken straight home with no food at all. As I was saying, there's this safe zone, and then anything else is a challenge, and then the challenges got more macho man, and then friends put him up to it and videoed it, and I think he did start to think about the health and safety aspect of some of them after the daffodil incident. I looked it up on the internet and it says daffodils, Narcissus species. Narcissus and daffodils, as well as tulips, rarely cause fatalities, well, that's good to know, but they do contain toxic alkaloids that may cause dizziness, abdominal pain, definitely found that, and occasionally convulsions if eaten. But these remain one of our most popular spring flowering bulbs. Well, that's nice. And apparently during the war, some starving cattle were fed tulip bulbs, and the results were fatal. So I think that made Louie think, and that's kind of comforting for me as a mum as well. He tells me that he researches all these things, so maybe he just tells me that to make me feel comfortable. One of the things you need to know is I have never watched a Food for Louie video. It's just not possible. One of my favourite YouTubers is Louise, the sprinkle of glittery whatever it is, who has Baby Glitter, and I've got a soft spot for them because Baby Glitter's real name is Darcy, and my youngest is Darcy as well. Although she's not really a baby, she's sprung up to 5'9.5" or something, so maybe she'll be as tall as Louie. But if you watch those videos, or if you have little kids yourself, or you have little kids that you know, little babies, if you are a mum, you'll know that feeling that you have, that you need to look after this precious little life, and that feeling never goes away, no matter how big and ugly they get. So you need to understand what it's like for me. I'm never going to be able to watch one of those videos, and don't tell me about it either. Louie's often got up to lots of other daring exploits as well, and people come up to me and say things like, oh, we were away for this weekend, and I just hear the words field and horse and bareback riding and Louis, and I'm la 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 la, don't tell me, I'm his mum. That feeling never goes away, that you need to preserve this precious life. So as a mum, I've got 1 or 2 tips for other mums as well to help their kids have a healthy attitude to food. I don't know if you want to take my recommendation after the whole food for Louis thing, but I do think my kids have a healthy relationship with food. Still sounds wrong, doesn't it? But anyway, here's my tips. I think that it's very important to eat together as a family, to sit down at the table together and to all eat the same thing. You know, make a meal and everybody has to get on and eat it. None of this like picnic stuff and choose what you want. I think that generates fussy eaters. And I think by getting the kids to sit down and eat whatever we were eating has made them just be able to get on and eat whatever's put in front of them. So actually maybe it is my fault. Maybe by making him sit down and eat whatever is put in front of him, that's how he's managed to rise to these challenges. So anyway, as a mum and talking about preserving life, I've got 1 or 2 other health and safety tips for you. In the UK, we're big on DIY, so that's a big thing that you need to ensure you've got all your health and safety procedures in place for. And don't leave open containers of things like creosote around. So when Lou was a toddler, there was a little incident with some creosote. So the poisons unit suggested we give him a cup of vegetable oil to drink to counteract any creosote that he might have actually consumed. But fussy toddler, anybody really, would you really drink a cup of vegetable oil? And potty training, there's lots of health and safety aspects that you need to consider with that. Having good communication with your children, teaching them to speak, sitting around the table is absolutely fantastic for that, talking about your day. So when it comes to potty training, it's very good if you've got methods of communication for that as well. When little kids are learning to talk, they very often have a word that generally applies to lots of things. So when Louis was learning to talk when he was little, one of the words that was a general for anything outside, like going down the street, going to the shops, going to the park, was the garden. I remember the first time that he said a full sentence, not just 2 or 3 words strung together. He was in the double buggy with his sister and he pointed to her and said, "Oh, Hilary cut herself in the garden." His general word for food was tea, as in come and have your tea, and it's tea time. That's what we tend to call the main evening meal in the UK, in this region, or maybe it's just our family. So, as I was saying, potty training. He was outside in the garden, actually in the garden, and I was inside washing up some dishes and keeping an eye on things because I'd left him commando because I was potty training him, and I was listening out for that communication. Now, bearing in mind that chewing is overrated, as a protective mum, and having spotted a little package having been left on the lawn and thinking I must go and deal with that, how quickly I dropped everything and ran when I heard him say, tea, heading straight for it to go and pick out these pieces of sweet corn from his poo. So I hope you've enjoyed those insights and perspectives. I don't know whether you agree with my analysis, but I hope that has clarified that he has had a responsible upbringing and he does come from a responsible family.